Welcome you all to the ninth IEC IEEE BIS Smart Energy Standardization Coordination Workshop. A very good morning to all of you. This is our ninth session which we are doing for the IEC IEEE BIS, and here we discuss a lot of important things on standardization and new upcoming things in the area. In terms of AI or whatever, like smart inverters, rooftop solars, and this edition brings up new open ideas brainstorming session for all of us to begin a new era of standardization. We'll start with the inaugural session. I'll welcome Reji Kumar Pillai, President ISGF and Chairman Global Smart Energy Federation on the stage, please. Yeah. I also welcome Richard Schomburg, Special Envoy on Smart Electrification IEC, to be seated on the stage for the special address, please. Welcome, sir. I also welcome Shrika Chandrasekhan Sir, who is Senior Director with IEEE, on the stage, please. Thank you so much, sir. And also we have B.A. Savle sir, who's Director General CPRI with us. He is with us on WebEx call. So I request him to please switch on his camera for the special address. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hello. 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 Yeah. Okay. Good morning to everybody. Mr. Schomburg, Sri, and Savle Saab. Thank you for joining online. Welcoming everybody for this ninth edition of IEC IEEE BIS Standardization Coordination Workshop. Over the years of this dialogue has led to more closer collaboration between different SDO, standard development organizations, and benefited immensely. Particularly in India, we adopted several IEC standards and IEEE standards. The latest being the IEEE 1547 2018 version for smart inverters has been adopted by BAS early this year as IS 18968 2025. And we are currently, and this is very, very important thing for India, because as you know, millions of rooftop solar is connected to the grid, that to low voltage distribution grid, that 33 kV, 22 kV and 11 kV and the LT lines. Today we have about 1.8 million rooftop solar connected to the grid. And there are several feeders where almost every house has a rooftop 2 kilowatt, 1 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt connected to the grid, and people lock the house and go to work. During the day, solar generation happens. There is hardly any power consumption in any of the building on a street. What happens with that is that there are some cities where the offtake of solar rooftop been very high. So by 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock when the solar generation is maximum, the reverse power flow goes beyond limits. It shoot up the voltage, and the current generation of inverters which are being deployed are all set for 10% plus minus. So 240 volt, which is given in some places, 230 some other places. So the moment it goes 10% more, the inverter trips. That happens typically between 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in some of the states in India or cities in India where this is the solar rooftop adoption has been on fast track. Rest of the day, solar generation is wasted. So government is giving almost 70-80% subsidy for the new program, 10 million solar rooftop in 3 years, which was launched last year, and it is against 10 million, some 14 million people have already applied for that. So it may go to much higher number, because almost 70-80% of the cost is going from a grant from Government of India, and some of the states are giving additional grant. So all this is good, but systems will be installed, but no generation will effectively happen because of the inverter tripping every day. So what we have been advocating is that all new connection should be through smart inverters, and the 1547 is a evolved standard, 1547 2018. There are smart inverters available in different geographies, but not many people, there was no demand for it, there was no mandate for it, and the models are not available in India. So what we have done after the standard is issued in January, we bought one 8 kilowatt 3-phase inverter and currently being tested for different functionalities in Undertaker laboratory in Bangalore. So 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line, all the stakeholders from MNRE, CEA, CPRI, all these people will be invited to see and test and see how remotely we can monitor and manage DER using a smart inverter. Many of you have heard it started with Hawaii, then into Western Australia to Germany. Germany 3 years ago had decided to replace more than 3 million inverters with smart inverters. So we have not reached that stage. So if you adopt it now itself, mandatorily your new DER connection will be through smart inverter. That will be a major achievement. So we hope some decision will be taken by government agencies mandating all new DER connection through smart inverters. So this has been a great work which we along with the IEC and BIS achieved this last year. And similarly, another standard which IEC standard we adopted as IEC 62746-10-1, the user interface with, so which Richard was the chairman of the committee of IEC, which published that standard again in 2018. Adopted in 18 or 19. So that also 2 years ago we adopted as a standard. That's another very important standard for user interface with the grid. All our smart appliances, smart equipment interacting with the grid, it will facilitate. So this coordination between different standard development agencies, we have been very happy to make a platform like this with inputs, active support and hand-holding of Mr. Richard Schomburg. And it was his idea in 2017 when we started this. We see interest from different countries, different SDOs here. Welcoming you all to this today's, it's a day-long interaction, free-flowing discussions. Thank you for everybody to come, and over to
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a great honor to be here, and thank you. I thank very much ISGF and India Smart Utility Week for inviting me to be part of this event and this very special workshop. So maybe first a word regarding India, where we have to. Is it working? Can you hear me? Or yeah.
Yeah. We are.
They said yes. Okay. So we're on India. You see, it's obvious for a lot of you, but we have to keep in mind that India is the most populous country in the world as of today, in the range of 1.5 billion, something like that. I had to recount to give you the exact number, but also India is the third energy consuming country in the world. So whatever happened in India and whatever India is choosing for its energy has a world impact. And this is, to me, one reason I've been really spending time for years, even helping ISGF making its way and making a difference in the energy sector. So also regarding renewable energy, India made a commitment to be 500 gigawatt of non-fossil fuel-based energy capacity by 2030. And actually, as of today, it's not bad. It's something like 218 gigawatt. So this is really commendable. So India is not just talking about things India is doing. And well, India is a democracy, which is something considered as very important worldwide nowadays. So now, maybe a word about this workshop. You see, this is a very, very special setting. I don't know any other gathering being a platform for a discussion, in-depth, open and in-depth discussion on any question or any need or any comment or even any complaint regarding whether IEEE standardization or IEC standardization. Of course, they are at high level established, organized interactions, you see, definitely IEEE. Of course, there is IEEE SA and there is IEEE PES. But they are, of course, invited each and every year at the IEC General Meeting and sitting at the table of the IEC Standardization Management Board. But even though, you see, there is nothing like what we're doing here or what we can do here. So it's the 11th India Smart Utility Week and the 9th workshop, the 9th, it was, of course, it's a BIS backed up workshop between and with IEEE and IEC. There is something else that people should keep in mind. You see, very often people are comparing the SDOs or even somehow sending back to back the SDOs. And we need to keep in mind that the SDOs are member organizations. And many of your companies are members and, of course, participating in the activities of the two SDOs. So, of course, if there are some differences or sometimes things that might be depicted as inconsistencies, it's simply not because those organizations are wrongdoing. They are managed by their members, and the same members are sitting at the management of both organizations. So if there are any issues that kind, you see, it's really the fact of the members. We need to keep that in mind. So each organization has its DNA that is described in the bylaws, in the rules, in the directives, and that means that each organization might have strength that the other one might not have as much. And this is where I'm convinced the industry needs both. The industry needs both, to the point that I have no problem, and I have had no problem to even recommend referencing an IEEE standard. And sometimes, you see, there are some members who are maybe going to one organization because they have the impression they're going to be quicker to get out of the door published a reference document or a standard. Then they would like the other organization to stamp it. Well, to me, this is the worst of the worst, because as soon as it's published by one organization, to me, it's good enough and it should be a reference. And this is what I'm doing with some very specific piece where I'm very happy that even though I would have liked IEC actually process those pieces and be the one issuing that and entertaining the maintenance cycle of those reference document, but if it's been going through in the other organization, it's good to me. So let's keep that in mind, and I'm very happy to see all of you here, and I count on you to help asking maybe disturbing questions all along the day to help opening the eyes on different things and see if also there could be some incredible opportunity that will arise to do things together. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, sir, for your special address. Now I request DG sir to Savle sir, DG CPRI to please give a special address. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I thank ISGF to invite me, and I seek my apology that I had to cancel my last moment yesterday evening. I had to cancel my travel to Delhi. I was supposed to be there today, and I love to participate in the workshops, which is really we can gain a lot of knowledge. But because of some emergency work, because of the March ending, I had to cancel my today's this one. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be there in Delhi. Thank you very much, ISGF, and I wish all the best to you and success for this program. ISGF has been organizing this utility, smart utility week, which has to the great extent has helped people to understand and enhance the knowledge of in the country about the standardization, the smart utilities, the digitalization, and what is happening all over the world. And there is need to, because this is the right time. We are at the convergence of the technology, and with this the emerging trend, as we are saying, we are moving from the fossil fuel generated energy to the non-fossil renewable energy, including the hydro, nuclear. Also now that India is also moving toward the increase in the power generation from the nuclear. Altogether, solar is more in that, and we know that this is the grid will be unbalanced because of the solar and wind, which is unpredictable. Especially, you have abundant energy in the day, which may go waste unless it is stored. There have been efforts to increase the hydro pump storage as well as the batteries, but still we know that the cost of the storage is very high, and unless the several alternates are found, we are going to face this situation. But still, we know that the balancing the grid will be the great. The very challenging unless the utility is smart, unless the grid is smart, the distribution is smart. And to be smart, you need to have the standards, interoperability, digitization, automation. Everything has to be in place. And I think this is the right forum to discuss. IEC has been doing the great efforts to make the standards and in time. That is more appreciable. Okay. Another thing is good news is that the BIS has adopted the inverter standard. This is really a great, I think, step, because smart inverter is going to play a great role in this grid balancing. Another thing, we know that the India has set a target of we are aiming to be a developed country by 2047, and we hope that, and we are very positive about that achievement. We also have set very 2030 goal of the 500 gigawatts of the renewable energy. Okay. And we know that India is the country which needs, maybe in a few decades, you will see the multiple growth in the power sector. Our per capita income the per capita consumption is much less compared to the world average. And that has to be tripled by 2047. So you can see the growth of the power sector in India to what level it will be. So everybody has to make an effort in that direction. We are aiming to install 25 crores of smart meters, okay, all over the country. That is a great challenge. The pace of right now, which was expected for the installation, we are much behind that. It has to be picked up. But there are several issues in that. In the smart meter also, we must see that if the pace is very slow, by the time we reach to the last leap of the connections, it should not become our installed meter becomes the old, and then it will become the legacy. The technology changes by that time, and it will be an issue for the interoperability. So interoperability is one great the area where everybody has to work and the standard has to be in place. If we aim right from now only, the meters are interoperable, our system is interoperable, AMI is interoperable, probably we may not face that situation after a few years, that when the technology replacement happens, that then the meter also has to be replaced. Probably we would not be able to afford it. I think ISGF may discuss today's. I'm sure that these topics must be there available today's discussion about interoperability. One more thing I would like to convey here about interoperability. The Ministry of Power recently through CEA has released a document for AMI standardization. We tried to frame certain guidelines to see that the end-to-end, the compatibility is there, the interoperability is there. Right now, it may not be 100% interoperability, because we know that the RF, till now, wherever the RF is used, it is proprietary protocols are there. But to the large extent, we try to see that you get the whenever you replace the MDM, you replace the HAS, so you can you don't have to get into the vendor locking. Similarly, for the communication model, we have framed the specification, and those specification will be a part of the IS standard soon. So to that extent, also some interoperability will be achieved as far as the SmartIN is concerned. Okay. Now one more I would like to convey. The IEC is working on the 62053-25, which is the standard for digital revenue meter. So this will be the great one step in the digitization and interoperability of the in the digitalization and connectivity of the meter directly to the substation or the system which are compatible or in to the SCADA system or IEC 62085. Now, as far as the testing facility is concerned about the smart meter, there is in the country we have enough test laboratories. There is no shortage of any test facility. The only thing is that utilities or the purchaser has to be aware that the testing is the one thing which will take care of the future problems which you are likely to face. One is that the first is in place is that interoperability, the operation of the meter in the system properly when the protocol is implemented uniformly, homogeneously. That is very much important. Second thing is that the quality of meter, because we have switches in the meter. Once the switch is there in the meter, if the switch doesn't perform remotely or doesn't respond to the command, then the whole purpose of putting the smart meter, except getting the data which may be not correct data, you will land up in that type of situations. Because the conventional meter is it is the person goes there and makes the reading, or at the most you have AMR there. But as far as the smart meter is concerned, it is in the system. So cost of replacing this one smart meter is not only meter, it is the system, entire system is there in that. So you have to have the connectivity, the communication, so everything will be in the place and everything will be disturbed. So that utility must be very, very, they should take the utmost care while selecting this. Now we have under RDSS AMI-SP. So AMI-SP has to be very careful in that. Okay. As far as inverter test facility is concerned in the country, we are progressing in that. We also have this one, and we are in CPRI also. We are trying to establish this inverter test facility at a larger scale. We are envisaging we can set up a 5 megawatt capacity of inverter test facility, which could be one of the biggest capacity in the world. We know that because our future is the renewable energy, and inverters is going to play a great role in that. So we need to be ready for the future. One more point I would like to insist here, that's cyber security. I think this is the one area where there is a continuous upgrade is required, and we are not ready for that. The world is facing this problem. The solutions, because the cyber security is a continuous threat is there. So inverter is also one issue could be there, because unless the inverters are tested, the protocols are tested for the against the vulnerability, this could be a one challenging area in the future. So with this, I would thank once again ISGF, and I wish great success for this workshop and conference. Thank you, Mr. Reji. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for your special address and joining us online. And now I request Shrikant, sir, Senior Director, IEEE, for his special address. Thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, super. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Reji Pillai. I've known him for about 12 years since the inception of this particular workshop. So it used to be in Manekshaw, and now we have moved to Lalit. It's a great honor to share the stage with Richard Schomburg from IEC. And as Richard mentioned, it is a fairly unique setting. I've been at a lot of IEEE meetings around the world. This is where a consortia, along with the three key standardization bodies, the IEEE, IEC, and Bureau of Indian Standards, which is the national standards bodies, come together. Reji already stole my thunder. I was going to talk about IEEE 1547. So thank you, Reji, okay, for stealing all my speech. Okay, I'm struggling to see what to say now. But anyway, so 1547 2018, I want to talk about a couple of points that thankfully Reji didn't cover. So as Reji mentioned, BIS adopted 1547 2018 version just about a month back. But one of the key elements that I would like to highlight in this adoption process, when the committee was reviewing 1547-2018, the frequency that was there in 1547 was only 50 hertz, right? 60 hertz. So within India, we wanted 50 hertz, and the beauty of the adoption process was that the national committee from BIS was able to make an enhancement that allowed for the 50 hertz implementation. So as part of the adoption process that they did in India, now it supports both 60 hertz and 50 hertz. But the next phase of evolution, right? So 1547 working group thought that it is important to have both the frequencies addressed. So in the next phase of development of 1547, actually they are asking the India National Committee to make a submission to the 1547 standard, so that the 50 hertz can be naturally incorporated in the upcoming revision of the 1547 standard. Ideally, right, when the adoption happens, we prefer country-specific changes are minimal, but as in this case, it was required, and I think it is the collaborative nature of these organizations where these requirements are now being folded into the global standards, which helps in broader adoption. And the reason why it is important is we are living in a global supply chain today, right? So we want to make sure that the equipments that we procure from anywhere are adhering to the standard, and when they adhere to the standard, they can be implemented in the specific country, addressing the needs of that specific country. So I think that's a great step forward in what we are doing in 1547. 1547 talks only about the power interface, right? So it is how the smart inverter connects to the grid. Going along with the power interface, there is also a communication protocol. There are different communication protocols. For example, IEC has the OpenADR that they adopted within IEC. Within IEEE, the communication interface is managed by what we call as the IEEE 2030.5. So that completes the entire system of having not only the power interface, but also the communication interface between these systems, between 1547 and 2030.5. When we started deploying 1547, we did quite a lot of extensive commission testing. The type test is done by Underwriters Laboratories. I saw Manjunath and also Sonia here from UL. Along with the type test, there is a live commission test that happens in 1547. One thing that IEEE has done, and I think we talked about the significant penetration of solar within India. If you can understand the challenge, if you want to go and validate all these solar implementations and how they connect to the grid, and if they are actually complying to 1547-2018. So one thing that IEEE has done is they have started a training. They just launched a training program where individuals or organizations can become assessors of IEEE 1547 and can actually represent IEEE on the field in doing the assessment testing. So it is impossible for IEEE to be there everywhere, especially the penetration of solar in the millions of numbers around the world. It is practically impossible to do that, right? So in that context, I think it is a call to action for people in the room and outside the room, where actually you can. Yes, I will do that. Okay. So where people can come, do the training and become assessors, or organizations can become assessors of IEEE 1547. So one of the thing, okay, so that's a great intersection. Okay. So one thing that, so 1547 addresses only the distribution aspect of it. A sister standard to the distribution aspect where a smart inverter can connect to the grid is IEEE 2800, and the Bureau of Indian Standards ETD 51 has already started looking at the adoption of IEEE 2800 in grid forming inverters. I think this is a very important step, because that really brings inverters at the end to end, from generation to consumption. So addressing both the transmission aspects of it as well as the distribution aspects of it. Thank you, Reggie, for that intervention, right? So, okay, I will mention that. I want to make one final intervention. You should have mentioned these in your talk rather than 1547, okay? No worries. Okay. So I think I think that's important for people who have been following the news. 1547 just got enacted in the Department of Energy Act in the United States. So DOE just called for 1547. They referred both to the standard as well as the assessment program that is provided by the IEEE around 1547. That news came out just a couple of days back. IEEE is actually peering through that news. I think these are important steps. Reggie called out for the fact that government should make these adoptions in a more formalized way through perhaps engagement of the Central Electricity Authority. So one of the things I would like to call out is to do a commission testing of 1547 on the field, and that is the one that you are actually talking about. So the couple of last things that Reggie wants me to highlight, and I know many of the people here in the room, there are people who are from Open Charge Alliance that are here. I see Phil Beecher and Amarjeet. Amarjeet represents, we all wear different hats, as Richard mentioned in his particular talk. So I know that Amarjeet works with IEEE, but also with IEC and Wyson. So we also have LoRa Alliance, and also Dinesh Chand Sharma, who represents SESI and Sensenelec. So I welcome them all to this particular gathering. So I think between the three organizations, and the Underwriters Lab, already mentioned them, yeah. So between all these organizations that are participating, we have all the key ingredients to make sure that what we are, talking as theory and potentially doing it as practice within the standards, but the practice makes it practical only when people implement the standards. Publishing the standards itself is not good enough. We need to actually adopt these standards on the field. So I welcome people on the room, and thanks for Reggie and India Smart Grid Forum and Richard to allow me to be on the stage along with Savale from CPRI. I will commit to Savale that I will come and meet him. We are neighbors in Bangalore, but we have to talk through a video call here. But that is the nature of the game. But we will next time meet Savale in his office at CPRI. With that, I welcome all the audience. Without the audience, none of these workshops will be important or interesting. And as Richard said, bring all the difficult questions to the conversation. I always say there are no stupid questions. Perhaps there can be some stupid answers, but there are no stupid questions, right? So on that note, I would like to welcome all and thank you for ISGF for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening everyone with your words. I think without any break, now we'll move to session 1, which is Emerging Smart Energy Technologies and Standardization Landscape. So I request the special address. So we'll capture Savle sir through online only.
Right.
Thank you all for the special address, and we look forward to have you for the full workshop.
Yeah, I have one suggestion before I vote. Since the standard has, BIS has adopted the standard of IEEE 1547, we can approach the MNRE to make this part of the quality control order.
So we've been talking to them for long, and they wanted a compilation of different models complying to this new standard, and have interaction with the OEMs which we are compiling, and they also wanted to see the functionalities. So as I mentioned, ISGF bought a 8 kilowatt 3-phase inverter given to Undertaker Laboratory in Bangalore. Full testing will take 3 months or more, but we said limited functionalities which are important for us for the DER interconnection may be done on fast track, which we expect in another 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm proposing around 15 to 18 April, we will invite MNRE, CPRI, CEA and all stakeholders to come and see the functionalities. Then we can call all the other OEMs. This is from just one company. We just bought one. And their next step is that after the UL lab testing, that same inverter we will be taking it to Rajkot. Rajkot is the city which has the maximum, almost every house has a rooftop. So there we will be doing the field trial. And that's a time when maybe by middle of this year, CEA and MNRE will have the confidence that yes, we can issue the order that all new connection will be through this. So working towards that.
Yes, they will require time to get in the confidence. But they can start working on in that direction. Because this will require a lot of deliberation, lot many meetings, the stakeholders' involvement.
And also at CPRI there has to be all CPRI centers, there has to be testing facilities for the new standard.
We are going for the very big scale inverter test facility.
Yeah, one it's IS 18968 2025. It's available on you can download from the BIS website.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No,
thank
Bangalore,
you,
right now in Bangalore we have an inverter test facility of 500 kilowatt.
Okay.
Already. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.